For Toho's 30th anniversary, they wanted to do something big to celebrate the occasion. What better way to do that than have King Kong go up against Godzilla? With Godzilla frozen at the end of Godzilla Raids Again, King Kong vs. Godzilla starts out in Japan. Here we're introduced to Pacific Pharmaceuticals advertising supervisor Mr. Tako, who has been failing to raise company profits. Mr. Tako tasks the movie protagonists Sakurai and Faru to lead an expedition to this island. The men arrive on the island, and the natives at first are suspicious of the crew, but Sakurai, Faru, and the interpreter Kano woo them over. This is one of the most hysterical scenes, and it is revealed that the natives actually prayed to a monster god named King Kong. We are then taken back to the Bering Sea, where the water temperature is rising, causing the ice to melt. During its investigation, the submarine unknowingly gets trapped in the same iceberg that Godzilla has been imprisoned in since 1955. Godzilla escapes, attacks a military base, and makes his way to the Japanese mainland. With Godzilla now at large again, the media begins to focus all its attention on him. This frustrates Mr. Tako, desperately wanting the crew to return with his monster, King Kong. The crew and the natives on Faroe Island unfortunately come under attack by a giant octopus. King Kong finally makes his appearance and beats the octopus. Kong then indulges himself in a red berry juice and falls asleep. Sakurai and Faru take King Kong back to Japan on a raft tied to the company's boat. Japan goes into another media frenzy with the dying question, who is stronger, Godzilla or King Kong? With King Kong and Godzilla now both at large on the Japanese mainland, the Japanese now have to devise a plan to defeat both of the monsters. King Kong eventually meets up with Godzilla in the Japanese countryside, and they have a small battle. Kong throws a few rocks at Godzilla, but Godzilla overpowers Kong with its atomic ray. This causes Kong to retreat. The military has to then devise different methods to slow or stop Godzilla. They use digging a hole, which he crawls out of, and then they decide to use power lines. This time, the power lines are 1,000,000 volts instead of 50,000 like in the original film. This works against Godzilla, but has the opposite effect on Kong. Kong destroys the power lines and then goes on a small rampage in Tokyo. Kong kidnaps Sakurai's sister Fumiko and climbs the National Diet Building, similar to how he climbs the Empire State Building in his 1933 film. Thanks to Sakurai and Faru's help, the military use red berry juice capsules to knock out Kong. Eventually, it is then decided to transport King Kong to Mount Fuji, Godzilla's current locations, in hopes that they will kill each other. Kong is transported by balloons and is dropped near Godzilla. Here we see a glorious battle. Godzilla seems to have the upper hand when he knocks Kong unconscious, but then a thunderstorm arrives, rejuvenating Kong. He gets back into the action and uses a new electric grasp power. With the tide of the battle turning, Godzilla and Kong fight their way towards a cliff. They tear down Atami Castle and then fall into the sea. King Kong reemerges and heads back home. While we don't see Godzilla on camera, it is again speculated that he has survived. And that he did, as Godzilla would return in 1964's Mothra vs. Godzilla. I love this film. It's campy and cheesy at times, yes, but I love it. The film doesn't take itself too seriously, but it still delivers a great story. The music is also really enjoyable, especially the chant the natives sing to Kong. The characters in this film are a definite step up from the previous film, and I found them to be a lot more funny and interesting. Mr. Tako, for me, is one of my favorite characters in the franchise. I remember always getting excited seeing this movie in Blockbuster. It was so rare for me to get when I was young. King Kong vs. Godzilla is a classic that no G fan should miss. I give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.